Hey guys, welcome back to Hearthstone Power. Blizzard finally posted their second gameplay video of Hearthstone. Today we're going to be looking at the Mage versus the Shaman, Thrall the Shaman versus Jaina the Mage. A match made in heaven, some might say. Haven't decided if I'm going to just boil this down to one video, if we're going to do more than one. There's a lot to cover as far as new mechanics and strategy goes. So I don't want to pause it too much. I don't want to let the video run on too long. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to be pausing here and there to explain some new mechanics that we haven't seen in the first gameplay video. So, Mage versus Shaman. Looks like, not really sure what's happening here. Not a big deal. Alright, so let's look at, we are playing as from the Mage point of view. So let's look at Jaina's opening hand. Now, the player who goes second does get an extra card in the beginning to get a chance to mulligan their cards. She is able to click any of these cards, and I'm not sure if it gets discarded or if it gets shuffled back into the deck, and they can draw a replacement card. So she can, if she didn't like any of these cards, she can click, and replace them all. Now, Polymorph, I already know she discards that card. Polymorph is a great card. Any kind of creature destruction or anything like that, that's basically what this card is. I personally would hold on to that card. Second card, Defender of Argus. Okay, I know we already mentioned Battle Cry. When it comes into play, that's something that gets activated. So in this case, it gives adjacent minions. Now, adjacent actually means in this case, I believe, the minions left and right of when that comes into play. I don't think it's all minions. So when you're placing your monster, I don't know really if when you place that monster down, if you actually get to choose where it goes. But that's probably something they're tuning. That's kind of a weird thing. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But it also gives the adjacent minions taunt, so that's pretty good. Then you have here the Master Swordsmith, which is a really nice ability there. You can read it. And a new card ability called Secret. If you've ever played Yu-Gi-Oh or any kind of card game where you have cards face down and you activate your trap card and you flip the card over, that's always an exciting part of the card game because the person doesn't know what you're expecting. So in this case, you have a secret card, and I believe it turns into like a little question mark above the mage's portrait when that card gets played. That's how they're showing that there's a secret card on the board. Not sure if you can have more than one, I'm not sure yet. But that secret says when an enemy minion attacks, you summon a copy of it. The attack still goes through, but right as soon as that creature designates that attack, the secret card, in this case mirror entity, gets activated. So it's another level of cat and mouse trying to play mind games with the opponent. What's my secret card, all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. See, now I personally would not do what she's gonna do. I would not replace Polymorph personally. So she draws Blizzard. Blizzard's a really good card. I'm actually personally excited to play the Mage deck. I really like burn decks, so that's probably the first thing I'm going to try. Alright, so let's see here. Mage casts the Arcane Missiles, which does some random damage. I'm going to pause it really quick. Arcane Missiles, in this case, is an okay move. The fact that it's random, any kind of card that has random effects is something you want to be careful with. It's not going to be reliable. But in this case, it does 3 damage, 1/1/1, spread out between the enemy minions and the hero. So chances are, you're going to get that 1/1 minion over there. So it's not a bad play. I would have played it. Alright. I do want to point out really quick, I hate to pause it so many times, but I'm going to pause it. Notice it's a different playboard. Last time we had the Mist of Pandaria playboard, and now we've got some, looks like Stormwind from what I can see. You got a Griffin down there, and if you notice throughout the match, the little eyeball cursor, he will click different things, and then when he clicks on the Griffin or the hay, you get some animations. Just some fun flavor. It's just a nice little Blizzard flair that they put on everything they do. So you'll see him click on the light and click the door, or the little sign hanging outside the door, and it will move. So a little cute things to pay attention to. Alright, so let's explain the Shaman's ability very quickly. Totemic Call, as you can see right there, summons a random totem. Now, I'm not sure, since I am not in direct control of this game, I'm not sure if you can hover over that and see the list of totems that can be summoned, but in this video, the gameplay, they don't cover that. But I can tell you right now that the totem that was cast just now is a healing totem, and at the end of every turn, it heals the minions up by 1. So it heals them for 1 damage, everything. So, in my opinion, a little bit overpowered, especially since it works on the turn it is summoned. So it's really pay 2 mana, heal all your creatures by 1, which is really neat. Now it is random, so you might get other totems. I think there's one other totem that gets summoned throughout the match. Again, it's too soon to say which totems it inevitably will be. And I will cover Jaina's ability when it happens. Alright. Master Swordsmith. They clicked on the little door there. Alright. New ability. Overload. Overload just means you have to pay a certain amount of mana on the following turn. So, if you can think of that, you might think, oh, that's pretty bad. But in reality, it is bad, but it probably means it's a good card because you have to, not necessarily that it's a good card, but that it's an ability that's useful, So right here, you're paying 3 mana to get 2/3 wolves with taunt. That alone is very, very, very good. So the overload is just to balance the cards out. Balance the card out so that it's not overpowered. So now here you got a totem that heals every turn with 2/3 wolves with taunt. So the board's looking really good. The board is looking good for the Shaman right now. Alright, here comes the secret. Alright, so you got a little question mark there on the board now. I'm going to jump in really quick. I would like to do commentary on this video, and I don't want to get too much into this strategy because I don't think I'll have time. So what I'm thinking here, I'm just kind of brainstorming as I'm recording, thinking maybe we can do another video afterward and kind of look at the choices that the Mage is making and see if what we would have done in the same situation based on how much mana we have and the cards we have in hand. Maybe we could have, we could do something different to help this character do more damage or handle the monsters better. So, just a thought. Okay. Secret. You've activated my trap card. So it summons the duplicate minion, but it still does that attack on that Defender of Argus. And nice little battle cry ability from that archer finishes the minion off. Wind Fury. Wind Fury. It looks like the Shaman's got all kinds of cool tricks. Wind Fury is an ability that lets the creature attack twice on the turn. Normally once you've attacked with the creature, let's say you can't do anything else with it. In the case of Wind Fury, you can attack with that monster and then attack again. You can attack a different target as well, I believe. In Magic, there's an ability called Double Strike, which means the creature does damage twice during combat. This is different. This is actually better because you can designate a different target. So, in this case, the Dragonhawk could attack. If the Mage had two 1/1 minions, although in this case the bird would die if there was a 1/1. But you get where I'm going with this. The bird could attack one, then attack the other, or attack one and then attack the hero. So, Wind Fury is a great ability, and Wind Fury will be shown later in this gameplay video to great effect, and you will see that. So right now the Mage is not doing so well. So I need to tell you guys that. You can kind of see that. Alright, this is a really unique ability. This monster, when it's summoned, can swap the health and defense of any monster on the board. So now here's some of the places where you might say, well, you know what, I wouldn't have necessarily done it on the totem. However, you can only really kill a monster with this ability if its attack is 0, because 0 becomes its health and it's destroyed immediately. So it might be the right move. I think right now it's the right move just because that totem's healing everything. So, I will agree with that move. Alright. Well, that happened a little quick, but the Jaina's ability is Fireball. 2 mana, or sorry, not Fireball, Fire Blast. It's an instant cast. In World of Warcraft, it's an instant cast fire spell. So I think it's 2 mana, and it does 1 damage to a minion or a hero. So it's pretty good. It's not as good as Thrall's ability, I don't think. So hope they tweak these abilities out to balance them out a little bit better. Thrall's thinking. Click on the signpost there. Right, he's gonna attack. So he loses his last other minion, plays his totem. Now I'm not sure what this totem does. I don't remember. And I don't remember if we covered charge in the first video, but I'm gonna cover it again. Charge just means they can attack the turn it comes into play. But you notice here, you think of three resources for a 4/2 creature with charges is very, very good. Well, the flip side is the opponent gets a mana crystal. So Thrall is giving Jaina an extra mana crystal. So that's the trade-off for getting. It's a very aggressive creature. So she has an extra resource now. Now there's that polymorph. Now, personally, my favorite card is right there. Let me unpause so we can get a better view. Oh, I guess I'm not doing that right. In my opinion, when you can lower the casting cost of your cards, you are in a really good position because it gives you more choices to do on the same turn. So this card that the mage just cast lowers the spell cost of 1 by 1 of her cards, which I think is fantastic. So if you notice what she just did, she had 6 resources, I believe. And I think that the minion that she cast cost 2, and Blizzard in her hand cost 5. So she was able to get this card in play, bringing her resources down to 4. Now normally Blizzard would be 5 and she wouldn't be able to cast it, but this lowered it to 4. So a lot of people will be short-sighted and say, "Oh, I can't afford both," but you actually can. So she's got a creature in play that can defend a little bit, has a great ability, and she can still cast that Blizzard spell. So, good move. And now the board is clear. Jaina's hurting a little bit with 24 life. Thrall is still at 30. So, right now the Shaman is winning by a little bit. Hogger. Oh my god. Now, as a Horde player, I haven't encountered Hogger. So, but I do know the history behind Hogger. And I know how much fun Hogger has been in the past. Now I do want to pause it right when she gets to, well, I guess next turn we'll talk about Archmage Antonidas. Yeah, polymorph that Hogger, for sure. Definitely something I would do. Hogger's going to generate a minion at the end of every turn. So you want to get rid of that guy right there. So she's lucky she drew that polymorph. That's exactly why you want to keep it. Unfortunately, in World of Warcraft, sheep can't attack, but in this card game, the sheep can attack. So you'll notice there's abilities. There's weird things like you polymorph in World of Warcraft, when you polymorph a creature, it can't attack, it regenerates to full health, and if you attack it, it transforms back into itself. So in this game, it becomes a 1/1 permanently. It can attack, and you can kill it very easily. So very different from World of Warcraft. Still a good card nonetheless. Okay, now Thrall's casting Doomhammer. Now, legendary Doomhammer is a great weapon. Here it gives Thrall a weapon. Now, this is the very early on we're seeing weapon mechanics in play right here. Now, if you notice, the cost of the weapon is 5, the attack is 2, and the durability is 8. Now, I believe the durability is the number of times that this card can attack before it is destroyed. So, Doomhammer can attack a total of 8 times, well, Thrall can attack a total of 8 times with this weapon before it is destroyed. Now, Wind Fury, as we saw earlier, means it can attack more than once. So, still, each attack still costs 1 durability. So even if Thrall attacks twice in one turn, it's still going to take 2 durability. But still, giving your hero as some sort of attack is a very, very cool thing. However, when you attack with your hero, you do take damage from whatever you're attacking. Now, if Thrall attacks Jaina right now, Jaina does not have any attack, so he's not going to take any damage. But if he attacks a minion, he is going to take damage from that minion. So it's definitely a double-edged sword, or a double-sided hammer, in this case, that is happening here. So if you haven't figured it out yet, the Shaman deck is a very aggressive deck. And the Mage is more of burn deck. I would say a little bit of control, but not really. Alright, let's see. Okay. Very good card here. Now this card I think defines this deck. Now when I make a Mage deck, you bet your ass, excuse me, you can bet your rear end that Archmage Antonidas is going to be in my deck. Look at this. When you cast a spell, put a fireball spell into your hand. That is insane. You can keep flinging fireballs at the hero, the enemy hero, and you can kill him quite swiftly. Now, I do think this will get changed. I do not think, because this is a digital card game. There aren't physical cards. So when it says put a fireball spell into your hand, that's exactly what it means. A fireball spell mysteriously appears in your hand. So now that's a card. So when you play that fireball spell card, what do you think happens? You get another one. So you get an unlimited amount of fireballs. I don't think that's going to make it to the live game just because it seems so overpowered. If you can get this guy in play and protect him, you're going to win the game hands down. So that's going to get changed. It has to. Look at that. Deals 6 damage. Fireball. It's a good card. Alright, we get another Feral Spirit. Gonna get some minions. Still don't know what that totem does. But he's casting another totem. Healing totem, naturally. The healing totem I think is the best one. Now the reason Thrall of course attacked twice is because he had Wind Fury. Notice over there their ability on Doomhammer went down to 4 because he's attacked twice with Doomhammer. Now I don't know if I would have polymorphed that minion, but unfortunately he's having to use his fireball spells on the minions. But you notice down there he keeps getting fireballs back. I mean, you can't really waste it. It's really he's on a turn counter right now. Because he's got right now with Archmage on the board, he's got unlimited fireballs. Bloodlust. We all know what Bloodlust is. Rah 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 rah. Yeah, or Heroism if you're Alliance. Unfortunately, he had to use Bloodlust defensively to kill the Archmage, which I definitely would have done. You gotta get that Archmage off the board. But normally, Bloodlust is a nice finisher. Put a bunch of minions, buff them up, go in for the kill. Okay, spell power +1. Man, I'm not good at pausing this at the right moment. That's okay. A lot of the Mage minions, and there probably are some neutral minions as well. And when I say neutral, I mean there are neutral cards that can go into any deck, not just a Mage deck or a Shaman deck. So when I say like when you have Mage cards, you have to play you have to play those cards in the Mage deck or that class specific deck. Right now that's pretty limited in terms of deck building. It's very simplistic. Most games you have all kinds of choices. What they're going to need to do is probably make a lot more neutral cards, so you have more choices of which deck you want to play. But anyway, spell power is an ability found on the Mage minions, and what it does is whenever you do spell damage, if you have any cards that give you plus spell power, it increases the damage. So I believe in this case, even the Mage's Fire Blast ability gets boosted by 1. So instead of doing 1, it does 2 damage. So any kind of plus spell power minions, very, very good. That is already the deck that I'm crafting in my head. Definitely want spell power. Definitely want reduced spell cast of spells. Alright. Totem's not destroyed. You know what? Do I want to rewind it? I want to check that. I'm not going to rewind it. Alright, Malygos. +5 spell power. Malygos needs to be in Jaina's deck, as far as I'm concerned. It's a great card. Mirror Image. That's a new card. Okay. I do think that the spell power boost of that minion did not affect the Mage's ability, which doesn't seem right to me, but that either might be a bug or maybe it's balanced that way, but in my opinion that's a Jaina's ability is a direct damage spell that needs to get boosted by plus spell power. So, just my opinion. Got mirror image. A little bit of defense for the mage there. Okay, finally, the mage is getting some direct damage done on Thrall. Thrall's been pretty comfy and cozy so far. Right, those mirror images will keep him alive for a little while. So, if he can just hold out and keep casting fireballs, he can finish Thrall off. Well, she can finish Thrall off. Alright, Divine Shield. Man, I really can't pause this. That's because the people who are playing this game, they know all these cards already, so they're hovering briefly over the card. They're not giving us a chance to look at them. But Divine Shield on that minion there you see in the middle, that's 4/3, just means that when it's attacked for the first time, no damage is done to it, and it loses its Divine Shield. It's basically, it's not really like Divine Shield in World of Warcraft that gives it immunity, but if you were to attack it right now with a 12/12 creature, nothing would happen to it. It would lose its Divine Shield, and now it's a normal minion. So it's just an extra layer of defense on the minions. Alright, Windspeaker. This gives a minion Wind Fury. Believe he just gave it to Malygos. So when you give a big creature like that, Wind Fury, that's a nice little combo there. Alright, so right now, the mage is in a lot of trouble. Not much she can do right now. She's got an empty board, not a lot of cards. She does have Blizzard. Now, these monsters are frozen right now, as you can see, which means they cannot attack next turn. So she did damage, and she postponed her demise by 1 turn. She is going to kill Malygos. So this is a pretty nice combo. The math worked out in her favor. She was able to do damage to bring him down to 6 health, and she was able to finish him off with a fireball. There you go. They're emoting right there. Well played. Thank you. You're welcome. We're so kind to each other. This isn't the internet. Man, and another totem to heal these guys. Man. Blizzard has to make Thrall overpower, otherwise it's not Blizzard. Lightning Bolt. Very nice. Now, I want to point out, if he had Malygos in play, that would have done an extra 5 damage, which would have been very, very nice. Now the mage isn't looking really good right now. She's got 10 health. She's got 1 minion on the board. Well, 2 minions on the board. Thrall's got 4. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, not looking good. Game over. Fortunately, the mage did not have any kind of taunt ability. If that... It's my belief that a water elemental would have taunt, but in this case it doesn't. So, things I want to talk about. The Shaman deck definitely seems a little bit overpowered, but again, he could have just drawn the right cards. Not sure if Jaina made the best choices in terms of her cards. I think she got a little aggressive there toward the end. She wanted to bring the Shaman's health down, and I don't think she was in a position to do that. So, had she played a little bit more defensively and used those fireballs to clear out the board a little bit, not saying she would have won, but she at least would have been able to bring the board down and clear the board, so she could have survived a little longer. That's some of the strategy that you will have to learn in terms of experience and just sometimes using your gut when you're playing these games. Do I go for the kill, or do I try to clear the board out? Now, she had more fireballs and possibly a little bit more resources and maybe more health. She could have done that. Finish Thrall off. Just keep chucking fireballs at him. She might have won. So, this wraps up this commentary. If you guys have any questions, any comments, any concerns, any feedback, please send them my way. If you would like me to do this video again and perhaps cover a different aspect of it, or maybe, unfortunately I don't have Thrall's hand, so I can't see what he had, but if we want to cover it from his point of view, we can do that as well. If you haven't already got the word out, send this to your friends who are interested in the game, trying to get more people to, and I'm not even worried about getting a lot of people as far as an audience, but I'd really like to get feedback. I really like interacting with you guys. So if you guys have questions, if you guys want to know more strategies, send them my way, because that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. I love conversing with people and talking about the game. So have a good one, you guys. I will have another video up shortly for Infinity Wars. I was able to get into the beta for that game, and it is a very exciting game. So I'm going to try to cover that soon. I just wanted to get this out there first because this is a Hearthstone dedicated channel. So now that I've done that, we can move on to other things. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Time to Hearth out.